And there we go. We're live or something? I don't know how this works. I've never done this before. What happened? Where am I?
Well, you're in your mindscape. Welcome.
Oh.
I am actually, as you can imagine, your mind guardian. I will take you through this journey, and by the end, you'll work out how you're not actually a captain, you're actually an ensign, but you've been projecting it through confidence for the last 10 years, and really to only through learning you're actually an ensign can you progress and become a lieutenant junior grade. It might take you a while.
It's already been 10 years, and I'm still an ensign. I hate this so much.
Look, it's your mindscape. I'm just,
Why did I pick you?
It's your look. Your reality is your reality.
Please help me, everyone. Help me solve this puzzle so I can get out of it.
And of course, $4,000 or $5,000 in super chats will be important. So help us out.
Oh, I can't get that's the goal. I have to do that before I can leave.
Yes.
Will the lights dim during the course of this?
Oh, that would be commitment to a bit. That would be quite.
Time's running out. See, I could dim all the lights, and at the 2-hour mark, just go boom, boom, black. Anywho,
hello Stuart. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. Yeah, we're here today to talk about Discovery as we do.
Great.
And coming to the end, we got episode 8, Labyrinths.
Is the penultimate episode kick-ass? Because you'd think that this episode structurally would be the one to lead you into the one before and then the end. So this should be a really good episode to lead us into the penultimate, which is you hype for the last one. Structurally, that's, building up the build-up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Find out if it has done that or not. So I'm going to start sharing and see you in a mo.
All right. 21 of you here, guys. Hit that like button if you're just joining us. We'd really appreciate that. We want to hear your thoughts and input as well. So if you super chat in, we do read all of those. And we'd like to get your scores out of 10. Super chatted in would be awesome at the end. So if you can, please do so. We would really appreciate that. We do want to hear from you. So, and all the super chats do definitely help the channel. So by all means, help us out any way you can. It would be greatly appreciated. So, yeah. The other things are, hit subscribe, do the thing, hit the bell icon, select all so you get notified when we upload. There's a join button down there. Consider joining the channel as well, or heading over to Patreon/Trekyards. It's another way to join us on a monthly basis, and we really appreciate all that support. Plus, you get to access the cool Discord channel and maybe get some cool bonuses as a result of that. So consider doing that stuff as well. But yeah, we are misaligned in the windows, just saying, and Sam doesn't know that. So also there are links down below to the Teespring and the TeePublic store, so please make sure that you do all the things, click the links, check out the stuff we have on offer, and yeah, when I get back I'll correct the technical issue with the feed there, because that looks absolutely atrocious. But that's just the way it's got to be right now. So we're going to talk about Labyrinths today. Labyrinths of the mind. All of the episodes are just called Labyrinths. I was looking for David Bowie, and Jennifer Connelly, but no, they're not there. Anyway, we'll get into the discussion in a second here. He's taking quite a while to share for some reason today, so and we'll read the super chats and whatnot. Sam, we're not framed properly at all. Looks kind of awful.
Yeah, Skype's redoing a new thing where if the mic's not going, it sometimes tells you, the audio. So that's like muted myself.
Okay.
It didn't do that for a long time, and now it's doing that again. Yay!
Wonderful. Okay, well, it's fixed now, so that's fine. Yeah.
So, Stuart, I should probably go first because Marie might pop in at any point, and then you can do your one. I can kind of guess what you're going to say. So, Stuart, ask me the question.
What did you think of this episode, and does it stand up to another viewing? What did you think the second time around?
Which is always
your thoughts change.
Important question. I think so. This episode is solidly okay. Now we're sort of judging it. Are we judging it by the season quality, the show quality, Trek quality? Certainly, if you compare it to like any Trek, this would be a very low Voyager, very low DS9, a very low TNG, right? Like it's not particularly interesting or very good, but by Discovery standard, it's of course is more interesting, more better, more good, etc. I think it is better on second watch because it's a lot less slow. Because the first time it's a bit too slow, not very much happens, bit too lingering, and there's a lot of unnecessary scenes which you could absolutely just raw cut out and make the whole thing better. As you said, it doesn't need to be 57 minutes. It could have been 45 and be better for it. But it is better second watch because it goes quicker. You know nothing important is going to happen until the end, so you just sort of turn your brain off a little bit and watch the first 40 minutes. You sort of let it wash over you and not really pay attention as much, and just sort of, you only pick up on the important stuff because the rest of it's faff, which is, but it's like, okay. And it is a lot quicker. The non-gunfight is still ridiculous, and made me still chuckle a second time. It's still terribly paced. I would have entirely cut out them. As I said in another review, the idea that you're waiting for this giant phaser fight, which the first watch, you're like, they're going to do a phaser fight. Second watch, you don't even think about it because they're not. You ignore the idea, you move on. You don't care. But you think, okay, the phaser fight's will be great, and you cut to them walking in, running. Oh no, and it's almost a joke, right? I would have just removed entirely them prepping, because it feels like a redundant moment. Say, right, you get behind this bookshelf. No, I'll get behind this bookshelf. Here, nope, cut. Just cut it out. It adds nothing. Yeah. It wastes time. It sets up the wrong expectations. There's a few things like that would just be raw cut. Once again, huge missed opportunities. There's not a single reference to any other Trek bar the lady's makeup, which is great, but that's not enough. There's no props, no costumes, no aliens, no pieces, no shuttles. It could have been everything. The fact that it's almost entirely a CG library. You could have had, 6th floor above an archive room of shuttles and seen all the shuttles. Like literally anything, they failed miserably. Books, Avatar could have been the scientist person in First Contact uniform, would have been beautiful. It would have cost the same as the costume they made. Would have been a great addition to see those two uniforms together. Didn't do it. Missed opportunity. And the end's action-packed, has a few plot problems as well. So it's again thoroughly okay. I really wish they restructured the season because it needed a restructure, it needed a refine, it needed to start compressing stuff to make it more interesting, because it is not where it needs to be truly engaging. And that's a shame.
Yeah.
So there you go. Those are my overall thoughts. What about you, Stuart, in the second or third watch? Because I had different thoughts second time.
Just gets my eyes glaze over more and more the more I watch this one.
That's why I said I was being more kind about it.
Yeah. The library is very nice. It is a library in the University of Toronto. There's obviously set extensions and stuff, but it's great to see that. It's funny because we had mentioned, and we did a video which will be coming out soon, about the Badlands visuals. And as I'm watching it, I hadn't said anything to Sylvia, and she's like, "What happened to the Badlands? That's not how the Badlands look." And I'm like, and then also she said too, wow, you'd think with future technology 800 years advanced that Discovery could hold up a little bit better. Defiant, you should just hang around the Badlands, waiting for Eddington and, And I'm like, I know, right? Well, I didn't prompt her at all to say that.
Or, one Marquis Raider, which are barely getting by.
Yeah. So, but then I played devil's advocate to her and said, storms kind of have ebbs and flows. It could just be at a very, turbulent point right now for whatever reason, and it dies down again later. Whatever, that's fine. Besides all that, though, I still think Book's acting is fantastic in this one. He did a great job with that Avatar character, and even Michael Burnham. I know she cries in this one, and that's a thing everybody's talking about. But I think it was.
Although it's more she sheds a tear. I think crying is not the right phrase.
But. Yeah, I think her acting was good. And the self-realization, all that stuff was done very well. I just don't know why that's the answer to the puzzle. I think it's kind of stupid.
Yep.
But yeah, missed opportunities again, and some things that just don't make sense, which we'll get into at some point, I'm sure. But I wanted to see more. And you're right, not seeing the battle, the gunfight, and then all of a sudden it's worse each time. Because the first person video game shot we got from the Breen was interesting enough, I guess, for a brief second. But then Book stumbles into the room injured, and you're like, how did this happen? I want to see that. And the more you see it on multiple viewings, the more it gets more ridiculous. Like, oh, Book's wounded. Oh, okay, well, thanks for that.
Yeah, it comes across as a joke, like a deliberate comedy skit moment.
Of course he's wounded.
And as I said to you in another review, like, why aren't Breen sending their best officers? You got one chance.
Better than them.
Oh, right. I don't believe that. It's just because the way they play it, like even in the hologram, beep 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 gone, beep 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 gone. It's like, so what? Fully armed in battle armor with a phaser rifle, and there's not as if there's a home advantage. They don't know this location, and it's just books. There's nothing there to help, but Breen are easily take outable with zero effort. Zero effort. It's like, okay, well, it lowers all their interest and stakes because they're obviously not a threat because they're not a threat, right? It's like, okay,
well, this episode had some phenomenal acting. Like I said, Book doing the Avatar was good, but honestly, the real Book getting the world route, the reaction to that, I mean, that was a really impressive, like, minute there where he was really emotive and really, that was interesting to me. So it's a mixed bag again, unfortunately. There's a lot of stuff to like in this one, but also it just feels way too long. It should not have been 57 minutes long.
Yeah. And also the book scene, while good, is every... I've only watched twice. The second time it feels so out of place. Just like, this massively brings down the plot speed.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a fine scene, but it isn't... Like, it's going to be a huge setup for a payoff, which I think is a problem because you don't set things up, 1 hour and 6 minutes before they pay off, and it feels as if it's a... it'll be the answer to the questions. Like, well, he didn't have it until, 5 hours ago, as we learn at the end. They're only 5 hours from the bloody technology.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the scale of the Breen Dreadnought got scaled down quite substantially in this episode.
No, I think it's about the same.
Well,
yeah, Discovery flies by at an angle, so it looks bigger. It's pretty. Yeah, I think it's all still scaled. It's just the colony thing is really big, like,
which makes sense.
Like 300 decks, which you'd think had better shields. I mean, and then second watch, I found that somewhat laughable. She's like, "Let me prepare our defenses."
Let's see that.
Shields up. That's it. What you had? You didn't have people with weapons. You had one shield bubble. I was between weapons and such. Don't include that line if it's not there as a moment, because the archive is explicitly shown to be it's killable in a few seconds. That's clearly shown. They beat because the first scene is about tunneling through the shields, not about damaging them. Second scene, they beat the shields in one hit. So there is zero it can do about it.
Well, 3 hits. It's like a pulse weapon.
Well, yeah. But one salvo. 15 seconds, right? So, and you would certainly give this thing weapons. Certainly, this is a book library. Give it guns. Of course, it's the most important historical archival in the galaxy. You give it weapons, or you give it warp that can work, or it's just second watch. All that falls apart horribly because there's nothing there. Then don't include it.
I would have preferred that the 1,000 people on board, the archivists, were kind of like Shaolin monks that were highly trained in fighting.
Sure.
That would have been cool to see, something like that, but we got nothing like that. Nope. So it was all right. I mean, for Discovery, again, it's pretty good. It's following the flow of this season. It's just I expect more, especially at episode 8 of 10. Yes, this is the build-up, and hopefully next episode will be better, but I'm saying that now, and then a week from now it'll be like, well, that was disappointing. I just have a feeling.
Yeah, we have to lower our expectations again. It peaked in episode 1 for me. I know you like episode 2 better. It peaked episode 1, and it's never been able to regain the energy or the quality, and that's a shame because it had a lot of promise this season, and they've not been able to realize it. In fact, they've let themselves down premise to execution. Simple things like having, like I've said a few times, flashbacks to the scientists in DS9 uniform. In LED Wall Room, have some consoles. That would have been super production added to the thing, to the season. Have us invest in the characters, meet them throughout. So when you meet the Trill guy, the original him and Culber. This could be the equivalent of the hologram of the bottom of the bioscientist, and you meet them in the real world flashbacks, and you get to see the recreation of them here. That would have been super payoff.
The other thing that bothered me was the other Breen guy that like she attracts the Breen, I tell you what. And if you notice in some of the scenes, he's standing beside her and he's like shaking, like he's nervous, like he's got a nervous kind of. I don't. And somebody pointed out last night on my first reaction, maybe it's somebody undercover, maybe it's non-undercover. It's like, well, that's just stupid. But anyhow,
I mean, there's no setup to that, but neither was a lot of this stuff. So
yeah,
it doesn't really. Strange. But there's some super chats. Let us know. Yeah, guys,
yes.
Throw in what you think of the episode. I really want to know. Because this one's interesting in a few ways.
Got a few mez and yeah. Ozzy, though, member for 51 months at the rank of Federation Council, which is amazing. Black alert, shuttle bay door closed. Black alert, shuttle bay door open. Flamethrowers are back, even in engineering room. Yes. Yeah. They turned them sideways this time, though. So
there's an embarrassing moment where one bolt of fire comes out, and it's like, so the shields are up. The shield's getting hit, and for some reason, something something spawn's exploding.
Mm-hmm.
And no one cares. An explosion in your room with the spore drive, the most important thing on the ship. Stamets just look behind him and say, "Quick, repair that conduit." Something exploded, Stamets. There isn't just fire. There isn't just pressure valves that show that jettison fire. It's not a thing. You cannot explain that as a thing. Go fix it.
Especially that far in the future.
Yeah, after that reboot of that. And where's replicable matter bullshit? Just fucking stupid. Just remove them. Remove them. It's dumb.
Olivia Julius, $5. Does size matter? Well, for ships it does. Check out Stuart's newest video on his personal channel.
Goodness.
Steak Trek ship size comparison. I mean, Starship. Star Trek. There you go.
Okay.
Ray Ricks, 10 pounds. Meh. I mean, it was a glacial for 50-odd minutes. Yeah. The Primarch was overly arch. Book's mine program was good, but why did Voyager manage to fly around the Badlands, but a ship 900 years later is struggling? Yep. I kind of will play devil's advocate a little bit with that because it is a storm, but hey, that's fine. Olivia Julius, $5. According to our scans, you have a British man on the stream. Here, we have this in our records. Here is £3.97. It's yours to keep.
Perfect.
Sweet, thank you.
That's the exact amount we need to live. That pays rent and all sorts in the UK. Very cheap rent, apparently. All right. Let's get into it, I guess. So begin with a cool shot. Although, given that I guess they're clanging the scepter things for the Breen commander, who's died. But it's just like, why are our guys over there doing a thing when people in the middle don't seem to engage with them? And it is relatively effective having no one have faces and it still works. It's just very dark. That said, I like that there is actually, I believe, 2 different ship variants in the background, notably. I wish we'd seen them more than background, but I think it's like there's a work-bee thing as well. Like, they have stuff there that could be in the season.
It's funny, the work-bee thing, I was like, is that an Orville Season 1 shuttle? Because it definitely looks like that for a second. It's so weird to see a white ship in this environment.
But it's this sort of thing where this one intro shot, the coolness of it, I kept thinking, wow, this must have cost so much Picard Season 3's budget.
Are the pictures going up? Because it looks like thumbnails.
Premiere is crashing. I'm trying to solve it while I'm vamping.
Okay.
Trying to do it. But yeah, like if only they would given us money to Picard Season 3, and they would have spent it not on this shit, but on good stuff. Like, this is fine, but this is like, we have money to spend. I would have rather Picard Season 3 had another 30 grand to spend on getting more actors or whatever. Like, that would have been more meaningful than, like, they always got more money, in CG-wise. It annoys me because,
Yeah.
do better things with it. But it's a cool scene. It's a cool scene, just... I guess they're using the same... Because this is clearly the Dreadnought, but it's using the interior from the space station.
Yeah.
So I guess it's effort.
Yeah, unless that other scene happened on the Dreadnought, because it's that big open thing in the middle of the front at the...
They just happened to show the space
ship.
station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Doesn't
anyway. But yeah, the whole...
He's dead, Jim.
Yeah. And everybody's like, for the Scion, for the Scion. And the Primarch's like, no, screw the Scion. I'm going to have more power. I don't need to maintain my cultural integrity anymore.
I just wish that there was any kind of real setup for Locke being important. He left. He was a bitch in those sequences. He was not treated like royalty. Just because you are doesn't mean that this sudden reverence makes sense. So this from that...
That's true.
Doesn't flow to me. There was no setup. If anything, if they abdicated by leaving and marrying a human for years, when they wouldn't be... Hail the traitor! Hail the traitor! So this doesn't work for me as a concept. Just in general. You haven't explained it properly.
Yeah, if they had explained that the uncle was jealous and that's why you put him down and working in the hangar bay, and the other people kind of still, knew that he was true heir, then you could build up to this for sure. But
it's
I agree.
An instant reversal, and it's fine last week because last week it was like, oh, he's the kin. We need to get him. Great. Then this is like he's the god. He's the leader. It's like no, and he's also dead. So why are you? It doesn't work structurally. It doesn't work. Sorry.
Yeah.
But it's a fine scene. Just don't think about it too hard. And of course she raises her hand and says, "I want, let me do things." And he's like, "Okay, girl." And then she's like, "Now fucking say anything, and I'll kill you." Like, yep, fair.
Well, she's building up the Scion thing because she just yells out, for the Scion, and he even threatens her and says, "Don't speak to my men because you're rallying them against me," kind of thing.
Well, for him, if he's going to play on the same team, but he obviously doesn't at a certain point. It's effective if you ignore the fact it hasn't been set up properly.
Yep.
Anyway, then you get a beacon. Discovery jumps in, and you get the absolutely terribly not correct briar patch. Wow, we talked about it the other day.
It should be the briar patch.
Freudian
It looks
slip.
like the briar patch. I would have bought that.
And as we'd said in the review, which we'll see, I suppose, if they just said in the Acton expanse, it's like the Badlands of the Gamma Quadrant. Done. This is not the Badlands. Doesn't look or feel like it. Has none of the same abilities. It doesn't work for me. Because if you're going to use it but not do anything about it to look, feel the same, or even act the same, then don't use it. Don't actively, because you can't square the circle of it if it being infinitely more powerful 800 years later, but also infinitely will be fine years ago. Just will saunter through it and maybe get hit, maybe, versus we will die in about 3 minutes max. And remember, they're given the coordinates. They have a safe route, and they still almost die. So any ship with worse shields would be destroyed. So they are losing countless ships of trying to invest, because most people haven't got this good of shields. So most people visiting are dying because they can't survive the route.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only way you can take that, because they're down to 30%, and one more, and they're dead. So it's a stupid scene.
You would think if you transmit the library card, you'd get like a protective bubble around your ship like they have around the archive to like guide you, because you deserve to be there. You're coming to see one of the artifacts. But yeah, no.
Like they're picking the big Badlands because it keeps them safe, but clearly they don't want visitors because visitors die on arrival. Because as a Trekkie, I know that if that scene was replaced with she was down to 60%, and that was the end of it. You'd be like, oh damn, 60%, that's a lot. But going from 100 to 70 to 30, and all the explosions, which the shields are meant to protect from, which means there are also things happening to the hull because you don't do that otherwise. That's not what happens to the ship. Like they've never going to do space battles, and that's an equivalent. They just can't do them. They've always failed, and they've failed again. Just sad.
Yeah. But they transmit their library card access, and they get the archivist show up.
And she's great.
Yeah, she's quirky, and yeah, she's a great character. Tries to give them a speech, and like, we're in a bit of a hurry. Okay, we'll talk while you fly. And yeah, the archive is not responsible for any damage, dismemberment, or death that may result in your failure to do so. Is that a joke?
And
you never find out.
Well, it's not, clearly, because the Briar Patch Trailers. I thought they were implying that stuff in the archive was going to be really, like, not just books, it was going to be really interesting stuff, and therefore stuff in the archive might kill them. But they just mean the thing you're about to go into is probably going to kill you, and we don't respect life. Yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Joshua, it is, and it shouldn't have been, so they failed. Sorry. But she's good, and I'm sad that she disappeared halfway through.
Yeah, well, that happens all the time in Discovery. Hey, Fred, how's it going? You're an android. We could reactivate your head. You could talk to us. No, of course not. We never see you again.
One of the best parts of the season. And it's funny because they can genuinely write guest stars.
Yeah.
They just can't write the regulars. They can't write Adira. They can barely write Stamets. They can't write any of the bridge crew. But they can write the commander, the admiral, the president, the other president, this lady, Book for the most part. Like, why can't you write the regulars? What's wrong with the regulars that you just don't give them good lines? Oh, anyway.
Ray Ricks, 2 pounds. Could Disco not just spore jump into the Oasis? Yes, they should have been able to. Because they spore jump out of it.
I mean, technologically they could, but they didn't have the coordinates.
Yeah.
And I suppose... Now, if they'd given the coordinates, they could have, yes. But I guess they didn't have the spore drive. Which also she says, oh, we knew you were coming. We saw you coming. So could they track spore jumps? Otherwise, saw you coming means 35 seconds early. That's you wouldn't say that, right? It's like if you had a driveway and then you saw them down the road. So, oh, I saw you coming. Yeah, when
maybe they can track the library cards. And I saw one.
Sure, they can. Yeah, they can track spore jumps. They're
everyone can, even the Breen can.
Yeah, it's just
Simon Uphill, member for 26 months at the rank of lieutenant. Hey fellas, was missing some Dominion War flashbacks or info, but overall was an enjoyable episode and the best of Disco's thinly stretched plot episodes. I disagree.
Like, it wasn't boring, but it was dull. It's just that they could have done so many more interesting things.
Yes.
And given if it was all standing sets, as in the library, the real library, they spent almost no money on this episode. So why couldn't they do anything interesting with it? You know, like properly interesting, like bonus interesting.
But they make it through to the Oasis, and there's the archive.
Like I said, it's a terrible action scene. There's fireballs. Like, they just don't understand how shields work, do they? Like, stuff exploding in the hull is after the shields are down, or when so low stuff gets through. The shields protect against. The shields aren't... Like, impacts to shields do not cause explosions.
It would cause buffeting and this going on.
Yeah.
But not, sparks and shit flying everywhere.
And and this also mega feature ship. You would not have this. It doesn't work. And like we said, how's a 32nd century with advanced shields in the fleet almost not survive? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Anyway, the archivist is glad that they made it all in one piece.
No one ever does, yeah.
And then she's like, is there a Quajon on board? And Burnham's like, I don't know if I should. Yes? Oh, we have something for him. Yeah.
I did think...
over so he can tell us about it.
I did think that was implied dodge. There was going to be some...
Yeah, like, oh, we don't want him over here. We don't allow their kind here.
Well,
or something.
Or no, more like, we need his DNA for this, this, and this. You know, something... Like, but I'm fine it wasn't. It just the way that she plays that, she's so pleasant that it could have been a dodgy thing.
Well, the way Michael reacted to it was perfect.
Yeah.
She's like, should I? Yes, because it's really like, is that a bad thing or a good thing? Like, I don't know how this is gonna help or hinder the situation. So.
Yes, indeed.
And then she talks.
And then they go to Geonosis. They go to Camino. Sorry. Because isn't that Camino? With the cloud, the blue clouds, like it's Camino / with Earth Space Dock, kind of the curve and the things, but it's absolutely giant. I mean, this is probably 1,000 decks or more. I mean, these skyscrapers have hundreds of decks. I mean, this thing is bigger than probably 2 ball cubes tall. I mean, this thing is. And is this place generating the Oasis, which they call it on second viewing, the bubble inside? Because is there this bubble?
I would assume so.
Or maybe I have no clue, right?
Because it moves, so they would just move the Oasis with them. Yeah, that makes sense. It would generate it.
Or they stay in the one bubble of safety for the 100 years of being in the Badlands.
Well,
and it's cool. And I wish we had more shots of the station, but it's incredibly underused.
Yeah. Well, Burnham and Book talk, and it's like, oh, I didn't agree with the decision with Maul, blah blah blah. But I did agree with it. There we go. Yep. They had a misunderstanding, but I forgot about it personally. So. And
a really bad paced scene, and that this brings it all down to a slither again of pacing. Didn't need to be here. I'd cut it straight out. It didn't do anything. But then we get introduced to the museum, which I thought was interesting.
It does do something. It sets up why her subconscious picked him.
I already knew that, apparently. Though. From every
I know too.
Yeah, but... I know what you mean, but like I knew that. Like I didn't need this scene to tell me that.
Yeah.
And it should have been someone else. Anyway. But it's just funny. The problem is this scene. We just had her say, "No, can we not have the speech because we're in a hurry? Let me just take 5 minutes out of our in a hurry to talk to Book." Nope, you don't do that. Nope, you haven't got time for this. This is the least important thing. You just have pacing. But you get to see a huge set extension of the library with a real set, which is actually almost identical to the real. I saw a picture today, and it is just this. They didn't do anything to the set. It's exactly that. So it's very uncreative because it's just literally this at the table.
Toronto.
Yeah, which is fucking amazing for Toronto. This is amazing. I'd love to see it. It sounds like a phenomenal library. But yeah, they spent no dollars except set extension, which is not particularly difficult in that it's the same cloned thing. And I said to you, it's why I didn't like us from the future, because it's not. They just cloned a modern day library. I wish they'd done their own thing, because it's super uncreative, because it's zero creative. And I almost took it out of the edit, the review, saying, I said there's 0 reference pieces, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll take that out because there are these little display cases. Nope, they're all from the library. They're all just real books. Didn't do anything to this to make it Star Trek except the table.
Yeah.
Zero effort, guys. Zero effort.
Well, they beam in and say the Breen are on their way. Is that cool? Yeah, that's cool. We've had experience dealing with cultures in active conflict with one another. It's like,
but we don't have weapons or ways to defend ourselves.
Yeah. Just a harsh no, you can't come in, and your rights are revoked for now.
Well, I guess they expect, no one can survive the storm.
Yeah.
Damn, they got a dreadnought, which is like the size of the storm.
And then she talks about a dungeon. We just put him in the dungeon. Just kidding. We don't have a dungeon. It's more of an Ubi yet.
Funny line meant nothing. I thought it was gonna be a joke later on or mean something, but it's fine.
Ray Ricks, 20 pounds. Thank you. Not a comment on this episode. The tech scaling since the time skip bugs me. It doesn't seem advanced enough given the 900-year jump. Even the relativity and ion felt more advanced. This still feels on par with the S9 era tech. 100% yes.
Or Discovery era tech, annoyingly. Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I would assume in a nanosecond that the relativity can just put up a time shield bubble and just go through the Badlands and not even be affected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's it. Yes. And again, no use of replicable matter whatsoever. It plays no part in anything they do. It was entirely dropped because it was expensive. It's like, yes, don't introduce it then and make it the miracle fuel, and yet it doesn't do anything. Crazy. Oh, they should have brought the bloody android back.
Yeah, they should have.
Imagine if they brought him to this location and he got reactivated because they could heal him, and he's the one that saved them in the fight. And he brought like a Nemesis phaser and a Klingon TOS phaser.
And he decides to stay to study all the history.
Oh, God damn it.
The other thing that's annoying is all the books are very clearly
modern
Earth history. Like just Earth books. It's like, why is there nothing alien looking?
Because that would have been so obvious. Don't like have the Quajon thing and have, oh, and we've also got a positronic life form. We haven't got one of those in the archive.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it. What made the episode so much better, and he's such a good character. Fuck hell. They just... Oh, God damn.
Anyway, so they get shown to their viewing rooms.
Which I assume are new sets. For Control. And I assume these corridors are actually the library.
I've never been there myself, personally.
Because they're nice, but they're also super bland, but it's a library, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't need to be big or interesting.
So they ask if anybody else has looked for this book. Nope. I can show you the first. But the doctor, she brought the book there, Dr. Derricks, and she became an archivist herself and stayed there for the rest of her life. So,
which is kind of nice.
Cool. Yeah.
kind of made me sad though that no one cared about the book ever again. 800 years or 600 years, no one cared. It's like, there's a lot of books, but it would be nice if someone, should have said like, oh yes, a Bajoran in 2650. How long do you have it? About a day. Oh, that'd have been kind of cute.
Sergeant Montgomery, Battlestar Galactica, oddly shaped book would have been a great Easter egg. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, they spent almost no money on this from a practical standpoint.
But she opens up the book, finds the metal plates, and activates it, and then we get cut to Book's viewing room, and he gets the World Root, pieces of the World Root.
Now there is chords in the book, going. Maybe I'm sure there's a power element inside the book, because I don't believe a piece of metal can force someone into a mind coma, living out an artificial memory thing, including knowledge and an AI, because that's a holographic AI. Like, the Doctor is in the ship's computer to be a sentient AI, basically, and that was very clever. And he had unique, it wasn't pre-recorded responses. It was Doctor level, and that was Dominion Wars. There wasn't anything more advanced. So this is not capable of doing that. This piece of metal, it isn't. It's not. It's
the Beta Z imprinting. That's what it is. It all happens in her mind. There's no holographic nonsense going on. It's all in her mind.
But there's a computer program.
Well, yes.
So it is a construct, and they say there's waves. They say it's technology. They say it. So I'm assuming there's those little bits of leather, whatever, put to power. So there's tech underneath it. She just presses the switch. But I don't believe for a second that can do that. It's too small and silly. And that would have been a nice chance to see like a Dominion reward pad. But it's not. It's whatever Discovery would make. Again, missed opportunity. Having something inappropriate, they just didn't do it.
Hans Pritchard, I wouldn't have believed a machine the size of a beetle or a spider could magically give any time travel abilities, but here we are. Well, that's fine. That's future tech.
That's fine.
That's temporal war tech. That's fine.
Yep.
So,
nope, that's Krenim dedicated time war tech. Absolutely fine.
But this is TNG era tech that Sam's talking about.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Now you get the little joke about, is Book your real name? No. Yes.
Well, she called him Booker like a second before when they were in the room.
Yeah.
Mr. Booker's room. And then she asked, is your name Book?
But
that's what he goes by. But it is, because that's what he goes by.
But it isn't. It's assumed identity. It's not actually his name. But it is cute. Well, it's not his name. He took it from the guy that was Leland Booker.
I know, but it's what everybody calls him. Therefore, it's his name.
Would have been funny if he said, no, not really, but I go by Book. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that would have been fine. But
it's a nice joke, but it's not actually his name. So it's like, well, lying to an archivist is a sin, Stuart.
Anyway,
it was a nice little scene. I just wish it was earlier in the season, or not or just again slows the pace down horribly.
So you can keep this world route because we just asked you to come back and tell us what happened to it.
Don't die.
Because you know what's going to happen is the world route is going to get, with the progenitor tech, is going to form a new Quajon. So,
well, I think
spoilers.
A Quajon planet route, which they can implant on a new planet, and then that brings the tree of life.
Yeah.
Etc.
But the acting here is phenomenal from both of them, I gotta say. So I did appreciate that.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. I mean, this has been a giant plot line, of course, but I don't want to see the planet back. The power of it is that it's final, but I like if this route lives. Although hella well preserved, because this thing is probably quite old. And yeah, what a nice way to give him priceless, one-of-a-kind artifacts. Real nice.
Last surviving members, so I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I got to pop out for a second, but I'll take you to the next scene, which is great. It's the Mind Palace. So I'll leave you on that. So talk about the scene. See you in a minute.
Yes. Sherlock Holmes, the Mind Palace. Yeah, but going back to the Quajon route for a second, I think that's definitely going to play a part with the progenitor tech, and just put it in his coat, which is interesting. So we'll see where that goes. But Anywho's. So yeah, the next scene is, of course, they find Michael Burnham knocked unconscious on the floor, and then she wakes up, and they are not there because she is in fact waking up in a vision in her own mind, where she is standing in the main, well, you'd assume the main gallery or viewing room, with Book. And honestly, I think this is really great. Again, the acting from the Book actor this week, for both with the World Root thing and this, is phenomenal. So it's one of those things that I'm glad the actor got a chance to kind of do something a little different. He did feel kind of empty a little bit almost, but it worked for the role. Like, I love his delivery on everything. So, but yeah, she realizes this isn't real, and he's like, "You're right, it's not real. Virtual space created from what your neural activity indicates as the most important place in your life." She's like, "I've never been here before." And later she puts together, it's the mission, it's the current mission. She's always like, that's the most important thing in the moment, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, who are you exactly? She says. He's a program created by Dr. Derek's, and his form was generated from her subconscious. So you tell me who I am. Why is this the most important person? She figures out, of course, that it's a test, and that she's like all the other clues, and she's got to figure something to pass. Like, she's got to pass the test before she can get the next clue. So, yeah, that's this scene. We'll continue when Sam gets back. But 63 of you watching, 29 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Let's get those likes up. We can do better than 29 likes with 63 people here. We'd appreciate that. And we want you to chime in as well. Let us know your thoughts on this episode. Eric Martin throws in $5. Reminds me of being stuck in libraries and university. Yes, indeed. Have you ever been to this library, Eric? It's at the University of Toronto. So I don't know if you went there or not, but as I mentioned on my first review last night, my second job was at a library. I worked at the library in Stratford, Ontario, for about 3 or 4 years. So yeah, I absolutely, I love books. I love that job. It was great. So, but yes, and I gotta say, the book prop as well, very, very hefty, very nice looking, but yeah, I just, it's quite an interesting, like Sam said, and like I said, I wish there was more going on in the library than just obviously human type books. I wish there was some other things that they could have put in. They did set extensions to increase the size of the library and have it look way more impressive, but you could have had each level be a different kind of look. It would have been neat, but anyhow, they didn't do that, and that's fine. The final test in the last episode will be to win that Alamarine game. Han says, yeah, it reminds me of my own university library a bit. Eric says, Western libraries aren't that nice, especially the lower decks where I hung out. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You have to remember, I wish my school had a library like this one. I would have lived there. I don't know if you guys noticed too, a lot of these scenes in the library, when they're showing the kind of like the totality of the library, the music has kind of a Harry Potter twinge to it for just a couple seconds. Kind of a whimsical kind of vibe to it, which it's enough of a cue that you kind of go, and then it immediately goes away. So it's like, I think that was well crafted, and I don't know if it's just me that heard it. So if you're also heard kind of a Harry Potter-esque vibe to that music, by all means comment and let me know, because I thought I might be going crazy, but I've watched it 3 times now, and there's 1 or 2 moments where it's definitely got like a Harry Potter type of whimsical vibe to the music. But maybe I'm just crazy. maybe I'm crazy. This library is my happy place, and I haven't been there yet. Yeah, I did the my first reaction live last night from my library upstairs. So it was one of those things. There's just a perfect backdrop for it, even though I do a lot of my lives up there. But yeah, let me know if you guys heard the Harry Potter type music. Hypno Amber says she didn't notice that. Sergeant Montgomery said it had like a whimsical TOS tune to it, I thought. When they had moving stairways, etc. I mean, got the hint, which I did not. Yeah, it kind of had that vibe to it. T. Louise Allen said, "You are crazy," but I heard the music also. Thank you for confirming both. That's great. All right, well, I guess we'll wait for Sam. He's got more important, pressing matters, apparently. So what would you guys like to chat about? Looking at that image on screen, let me know in the comments, and we will talk about it. Because there's only so much I can say about one particular picture. And unfortunately, I don't have control of the pictures from my end, so here we sit. Oh, look. He must have been listening in and got the hint. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know.
Wow, it was one. Goodness.
Wow, it is.
Wow.
So, yeah, I said a lot, so I don't know.
Excellent.
I don't want to kind of go over it again.
That's fine. Okay, yeah, book, he's good. Book is good on a book. Did you notice that they're doing lots of almost out of focus moments? Everything's wide angle, makes them look weird. They have a soft focus, they're not even in focus, like I said. Lots of other stuff. She's medicalized. Get all the information on the thing. If we beam her, she'll die.
Well, this is talks about the tech. Let's just for a second. So let's see what's going on. We find out that the archivist have worked there for decades, so not super long. Never seen anything like this. So it's some kind of nucleonic emitter. Don't know if that's important, but it's connected to her frontal lobe and running a program in her mind. Mm-hmm. So, and can't slap it safely. You can't beam her back because it could risk killing her. So,
which makes sense. I mean, they want to find the right person, so killing the wrong person,
yeah, and then Book's like, I'm gonna go in after her. Nope. Boop. I'm glad that didn't work.
Yes. Although it would have been funny to have the reverse. Have it be Book and Burnham be the person in the dress thing. That would have been kind of funny, right? It would have not made sense, but it would have been... You could have made that really interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, Rainier and asked the archivist, can we have access to any of the books that the doctor accessed? Anything she's looked at when she was staying here, biographical data, all that. And she's like, yeah, I'll be right back. And she takes off. So.
And Joshua, if Book dies, we revolt. We go on hunger strike. He's great. And the actor's tremendous. He's really, really nice. And I met hundreds of actors. He's very nice. Just doing a poll as well.
Han says, I think this actor was far more interestingly written in this role than his usual one. Yeah, I think he did fantastic in this role. But like I said, just the acting from him in totality of this episode was fantastic. The World Root scene was really good, the way that was acted. So, got to give him props for sure. This is a highlight one for him.
Yes.
So we have a poll. Do you think season 4 is still the best season, or will still be the best season after the last 2?
Yes.
Yes, best season, or nope, it's another season.
Because you cannot fix a season with 2 episodes. You can't. As I said in another review, you've now committed to over half of it being overly long, under-energizing. That's over half of the season. So you can't fix the season now. It is what it is. You can end on a high note, but the middle is still now locked as being okay at best, right? But is okay at best better than other seasons? Don't know. Yeah, it's lots of wide angle lenses, which is very wide, and you know.
Yes. So Burnham's asking questions like, she wanted it found, she wanted it protected, right? That's what I'm here to do. So why are we making this difficult? He's like, I hope you succeed, but I can't tell. It's your mind. I'm just here to help you. I can't give you the answer. And then he's standing right in front of like a Dewey Decibel card reader or a card system. And she's like, that's the answer. That's why you're standing there. And she's like, it's not neuroscience. That's too obvious. It wouldn't be fiction. History. And I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe we'll see some cool stuff now, because we're going a little bit of a journey through history. You might see
the Dominion War, she says. We're going right there.
Something that points to a computer terminal, or you can get a message from the doctor, maybe. That'd be cool. No.
It's still just books on a floor when we get there.
Yeah, stop making a mess in the library. I used to work in a library.
It's also a fake library, though. And I get she's not very smart in this episode. It takes her a long time to work it out, because she knows explicitly that they are testing in hard tests that are difficult, and she expects it to be handed to her here, or just go find it in a history section. She's not self-aware enough to remember where she's come from, because we have to pad this episode with layers. I would have cut all the stuff for the maze and all this stuff and gone straight to the self-diagnosing stuff and make that just more interesting.
Yeah.
Because all this stuff is entirely wasted in the grand scheme of the episode. It means absolutely nothing.
But we mentioned the Dominion Wars and Earth history and Mirror Universe history.
We did. Yeah, 0 points to Gryffindor. Sorry.
Sean O'Sullivan, member for 13 months at the rank of ensign, says, not Labyrinth without hot Jennifer Connelly. I agree. Yeah, so if she doesn't get out of this, her mind shuts down permanently as a security precaution. Sorry about that.
But you can leave now.
Yeah.
Which is nice of them, in fairness.
Yep.
That was a nice touch. But nope. And then back to reality. She's not doing well.
Found the biographical data you asked for and everything she's accessed. It's like, Jesus Christ. Just give us a shorter list to tell us what she didn't look at.
I mean, if she lived there 70 years and just hung out, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
And is this her last scene? No, she's the Breen stuff still. Okay, good. Yeah. This is where it's like the Breen are here. It's like, oh, well, I'll go deal with it. We can't be perceived as taking sides, so we have to let them in but we have ways to handle this, so I'll handle it appropriately. And she takes off. And then back to the Breen. We get a similar call. He's a meanie. Give me the information!
And she's like, I'm sorry, but your privileges all Breen privileges have been revoked. Have a good day, bye.
Yeah, because she points out, we've got priceless Breen artifacts. You attack us, you destroy them. He's like, I don't care. It's like, right. Ask again, but nicely. No! Okay. There's
another thing here, too. Maul says, Locke told me the Breen had great reverence for their culture and history, but apparently you don't, eh? Again, in front of his men, making his men realize that he's kind of an asshole. So
I kind of think that's the most important line of the episode, actually, in terms of that one moment tells you.
Yep. Well, he doesn't care, because now, even if he was like that before, now he knows he's going to get progenitor tech and be the most powerful. Yep. So no matter what, it doesn't matter how sacred something is. He just wants the power. So,
which from his position makes sense, right? He can get his empire and conquer everything else, probably. Cool. I'll destroy an archive. I don't care. Yeah. Now, it would have been nice at any other point this season to have a line about how the Breen like culture and their past. Anyway.
Yeah.
It was not in DS9.
No.
And it wasn't here. It's fine to introduce, but for goodness sake, do as a throwaway line episode 5 somewhere.
Yeah. Build it up a little bit, yeah.
Because wouldn't it have been nice if, rather than always doing dilithium, what if Maul brought like an artifact and they just walk it off her shuttle and the Breen's like, be careful with that. Sorry. Artifacts are sacred to us. And it's this throwaway moment. That would make it make it bigger, you know?
Yeah. The Primarch also finds out here that there's other clues. He's like, you didn't mention other clues? They're on Discovery. It's like, ugh. Yeah. So that's
Throttling begins.
Oh, and yeah, this next scene with the books, even book and books. It starts out with her saying, "Are the lights dimming, or am I just been at this too long?" Again, we find out later that the lights dim the closer she gets to the time limit for this puzzle. So,
Although I think it's better she say, "Why am I out of focus?" Because she is. She's really out of focus in this, and many scenes she's out of focus, using weird lenses. Although briefly on the Primark, before you jump off it fully, I think that's a really nice touch that he strangles her, in the sense that I don't think she was even thinking. I didn't tell him. It was just she was already past it, so I like that little interplay of, oh shit, yeah. Then I thought it was a very real moment, actually. For silly scenes, that was a good little real, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And God, again, this book could have had anything on it. Could have been any reference. Could have been anything here. Could have been just anything. But they ignore the premise of the... I told you going into last week they're not going to do anything with this, and they do nothing with it.
Yeah.
I know it's her mind palace. I guess you could argue that, but then it should be different to the real one if you're doing that logic. And he is here to help, but not here to answer.
I love how it's like, yeah, I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? Yes. You could have told me so. You didn't ask. Be a little more proactive next time.
It's always job to be proactive. To ask questions. Talk to him.
Yeah. That made me laugh, though. That was a good scene.
Yeah.
And
then she works out that the maze, because obviously why was the book chosen, right? Because it is actually a maze, a physical maze. Except it isn't. That's also a lie in this context. It's a mental maze. And then we get the stupidest part of the episode for me. We cut out to a render of a maze inside her brain, which is also a fake maze because the test isn't a maze. So the test had to understand that she thought a maze was here, create a maze for her to pad time to solve.
Yeah. But before that zoom out,
okay,
he's holding the book with the spine facing the wrong way, first of all. And then he's holding the book with the shot from above, holding the book with the spine the right way.
Look,
and then they zoom out and do that.
Book holds books however he wants, man. That's really funny. Yeah, that's actually really funny. Yeah, that's a bad edit. Yeah.
I don't know how many people noticed that, but I noticed it instantly. It's like, ugh.
It's a pretty distinct book.
And then it's back to being the wrong way again when they... Anyway. She's like, oh, it's a maze. There's mathematical ways of getting out of maze. And there are. But... and I love how the bucket of sand... And then instantly it's like, you're dumping too much sand. But I guess it's an endless bucket of sand. Yeah. Which is fine. Because it's program. It's fine. But
yeah, it's a figment of your imagination. A figment of your imagination maze.
I just love zooming in on these titles of these books and going, these are really in this archive? Because they're like... by Michael so-and-so. And it's like, really, this is the Earth section, I guess. Why are these saved? Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, no effort was put in. Yeah. And this is when the reason I don't like the maze idea, I think it's entirely broken as a concept, is that the whole point of this is to test... Remember, this is clue number 5. Or 4. This should be harder to keep proving, right? This is a bio-neuroscientist, and Burnham is a smart lady, apparently. She thinks that this... last clue towards ruining the galaxy, that this person has made a physical maze that once you walk through, you get the power of the universe. And she thinks that the way to solve it is by cheating, is by putting sand down. That this secret mega special thing is just to put sand on a floor.
It's not cheating. That's a mathematical way to solve a maze. There are ways to do it.
But she's not using math. She's just moving sand. She's just showing where she's been and showing where she's been. There's no math there. It's not as if she's saying, "Oh, 3 to the right will be the solve." She just shows where she's been. Therefore, she just product deduction. There's no math. I assume she does every single route of the whole maze until she finds the end. It's just the least. There's zero cleverness involved.
And she thought all I have to do is get back to the reading room. It's like, really?
She's so dumb here. It doesn't make any sense. Now, it would be fine if this was played like that painting, the one with all the different ways are all conjoined, so that she kept going back on herself and all the sand would disappear. It would be fun, like if the maze was actively erasing the sand as she went. That'd be interesting to prove that you can't just do that. You have to think her way out, but she's not thinking about it. She's just putting sand on a floor and then she knows where she's been. Zero thought, and it's such a terribly stupid solution that it's just pathetic, and you should have removed it from the episode. But it's cheap, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the next scene, they're looking at all the stuff she's accessed, Talaxian hairstyles, all that. She's like, maybe she just like to learn. Okay, cool.
And that sort of doesn't make sense in the sense that they didn't know Talaxians when she was around, but that had to be a book that was then written after Delta Quadrant and Neelix, so we assume...
No, it could have been that they have access, they have documents there from different quadrants as well. Who knows how they get them?
But then there'd be some record, potentially, in the database of Talaxians there wasn't on Voyager. And if they've got just a book about hairstyles, you'd think that'd be in the database, in general. This is, they didn't know them yet, but whatever.
Not a band account, $2. This wasn't up to the high bar of Picard Season 1. This is better than Picard Season 1.
Look,
but hey.
There were no Discovery shuttles. Slug clap. Slug clap. Which, in first, we said don't ever use them again. They haven't.
Yep.
Full credit. And everyone guys, touch wood right now. I said this to you the other day, and there's been no turbolift roller coasters yet. They might go a whole season without showing them.
Turbolift caverns. Oh, that's going to be the solution to the...
Yep, it was last season.
It's going to be...
You know what's going to happen? They're going to beam
no.
Progenitech, and it's going to be just like a little iPhone. And they're going to put the tree in it, and it's going to sprout. Inside Discovery, it's going to sprout this giant tree. We're just going to see the chasms. This tree will be the entire 130 decks of Discovery, and it'll be like...
And they're going to spore jump and use the mycelial network to spread that throughout the galaxy.
Yep. And it'll be a giant 50-foot, 500-foot tree. That's what's going to happen.
I hate you.
Yep.
Anyway, she comes in and says, unfortunately, the conversation with the Breen didn't go well. Yes, we've raised our shields, so you guys can't transport back. But, yeah, I must go prepare defenses, and Book's like, I'll help. Again, it would have been cool to see a control room or something.
Or anything. Or weapons being activated or anything. And Sonic says, this is post-Voyager. She didn't have to join the Labyrinths anymore. Could have been 100 years after Picard Season 3 when she got the book. Well, no, because she's not going to live 100 years. So it can only be so many years before she died. So that means they had
She's only Beta Z. It's not like they have super long life.
And she was a high-end scientist. She's going to be in her 50s anyway. So you're looking at 50, 60 years. So Picard Season 3, maybe like 10 years after that. Maybe. I mean, you know. But are we that Delta Quadranty at that point? I mean, possibly, but it'd have to be near the end of her life or second half.
Marcus B. No, we had that tree in the Orville. Happy Arbor Day.
But it worked there because they're a silly show.
That's great.
That was great. I'm just saying, so far, no turbulent roller coasters.
Yeah.
But then we get Captain Sulu. Almost.
Yeah, this was great. I mean, we're getting more of Reese, and that's fantastic.
Did he get more lines in this episode than the entire season?
Probably.
I think he did. My only problem with this is that every single line is a standard officer that anybody could say in command. Nothing here was unique to him. He delivered it well, but he got nothing unique to his character. He was good. He wasn't given anything good to do. Tilly did something a bit unique to her for one line, but I wish I had a bit more because he was good. But anybody could have been this character, unfortunately. But he was good.
Yeah. So basically, they're going to use the Badlands to mask themselves from the Breen.
Thank goodness.
And they duck out of the Oasis.
Thank goodness they weren't how to defend their shields, because that could be a long time. Because the Badlands no longer proved to be a problem.
Yeah.
It also occurred to me in the second watch, we talked about this in another episode, like the Badlands, okay, let's say they've got worse, whatever, but the Federation has been monitoring them for hundreds of years, and ships have been going into them for hundreds of years. They gave them no information on how to survive the Badlands in any way, so they just approached them like a novice. They have hundreds of years of data about them and how to successfully...
Mm-hmm.
They didn't use any of it.
Nope. Yep.
Okay. There's definitely going to be at least one shield modulation to help protect. Nope. Whatever.
But the Breen make it through.
Yes.
Yay.
And then back on the stupid sand.
Which I do like the lights are, and I also I like the lights are going out. But then she pulls up the 57% complete, and it's like, Haley, she's playing Pac-Man. It's really great. And then it was instantly like it's 99% complete.
It also makes me laugh because she's using a tricorder in her brain.
Yep.
Like, this is a fake tricorder in a test, so the test is letting her use a tricorder, which is a cheat code, because then she is cheating to map. There's not even math involved to it, she's just cheating, she's looking at a map. See what I mean? It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. It's so poorly done. God damn it.
Well, it is nonsense. So she walks through the door and he's like, you thought you had it, huh?
I know, but there were so many seconds to this. God damn it, it's so dumb.
Ray Ricks, 5 pounds. Devil's Advocate. Could Voyager have sent a copy of Neelix's Talaxian database back through Pathfinder or when they returned? Sure. Absolutely could have.
Neelix database is interesting. That is a good shout.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, but it depends if he would let them keep, because he took his shuttle, so he'd have to have let them take his entire database, which is fine. But you could also argue he didn't, and he certainly just wouldn't give random hairstyle books. But yeah, you could argue that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, that's a clever way around it.
Which they wouldn't have thought of. So.
It's good though. That's generally good.
This is where she's like, "Why are you making this so hard? The scientists wanted us to find this.
They
didn't ask for you, though.
They don't want to find this. We've been through this.
They want to make sure that the technology is in the right hands. They don't. The whole labyrinth, the thing you just made up, was your mind thinking that's the solution. So, sorry.
I just work here, guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But she's just so dumb in this episode, just to make this drama.
Well, she does figure out here the lights are getting dimmer. I'm running out of time, aren't I?
Yes.
Yep.
It's kind of obvious, but yes.
Yeah.
Oy.
Yeah.
And then back to Colbert not doing anything in particular.
Yeah, but then the shield tunneling tech.
Yes.
I like that. I kind of like that. That's good. Great call it.
And it's interesting because they could just attack and they don't. Because had they just attacked, they would have got through already. The irony being they actually did respect, well, not respect because they're pew-pewing, but yeah, it's quite impressive. And it's nice. It's nice to see a space shot, Stuart. They're so rare in this goddamn show.
That's why space shot.
Yeah. Although you can't see anything's happening because look, it's so goddamn obscured. It's just shapes doing shapes with shapes. It's so.
And the Breen dreadnought must think its ass is fat because it keeps hiding it. Hides it in a nebula. Hides it in the clouds here.
I hope the back bit's not being touched by lightning.
Well, there's a shot later where it's actually you do see the back of it a little bit, but it's like, guys, come on. So yes, when she first went into this is when you were gone. She said, "Why this place? I've never been here." And this is where she finds out it's the mission. I'm on the mission. Every mission is important. So that's the most important thing to me right now. That's why this is the place where my mind took me.
That I like. That's very correct to her personality.
And then it's like, Labyrinths of the Mind? It's my mind. Is that right? Yes. Wow.
I mean, it doesn't help. It looks like a place isn't your mind. Like, if that was meant to be obvious in terms of the test, it's not, because it's the least obvious thing.
Yeah.
But I guess she's just a weirdo.
Yeah, I'm worried about completing the mission, and you're the last person I talked to. That's why my mind picked you. It's not why your mind picked him, first of all, but it's fine. We didn't resolve the thing, so.
No, Stephen, I get it's a thing. It's just cheating because it's the process is just to put sand down so you see where you've been. It's not solving a maze of math. It's just putting sand down on a floor so you know where you've been. It's just cheating, which is fine if you're doing a real maze, but this is a sci-fi story.
Yeah.
Gosh, a lot of the same screen caps, eh?
Yeah, but they're important. Yeah, it's fine. Sorry.
No, I'm not. It's not a complaint. I'm saying visually, it's the exact same scene.
This is where she's
for a long time.
Yeah, this is where she's like, you don't have to prove that you deserve to wear this uniform and be sitting in that seat and having that rank, and I won't fail again. And he's like, again? She's like, screw you. I'm gonna find my own way out. She takes off. It's like, that'll work.
Now, did you hear in your head when she said that? Screw you guys, I'm going home. Tonally, totally. It's very similar. And I was a bit confused by this because she says that's how to prove himself. Like, captains being in the chair they've proved themselves. Like, Picard has proved himself by getting the captaincy. He doesn't have to prove himself every week. I know it's because she's a broken person, but like it's kind of the reverse in my mindset. Like Kirk's not thinking, oh, every week they're judging you for being captain. No, they're respecting you because you earned the captain. It's only if you fuck up that people then think you don't deserve it. But
they built this up though the whole season, where it's like I used to be a mutineer. Who thought I would be a captain in Starfleet? And then it jumps back through time. It's like, how was I supposed to believe you? You're a mutineer. So it's building up that doubt in her mind apparently for. I don't know if the crew's thinking
it. They're kind of sycophants. I think they're all like, yeah, you earned captain somehow.
Yeah.
Fine.
Sergeant Montgomery, $5. All planets lost last season will be resurrected and restored. Progenitor tech. Link to Discovery. Hidden away till the time of the Calypso episode.
Oh, that's interesting.
A lot of people suggested too that Kraft from the Calypso episode was going to be in fact Michael Burnham and Book's son. So.
Well, we said that originally as like
we did a long time ago, but it's interesting because it could very well be the case. He's got the owl tattoo. They had a reverence for nature. He's going to be from the reborn Quajon. Like, I can see them tying that into Calypso, and it might work. But anyway.
Also, I don't give a shit. They've ruined it. It doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter anyway.
Philip DeHolic, £5. I'd love for you guys to do an episode on the season reshoots since we have gotten abnormally a lot of older cast members so far.
Well, how would we determine reshoots, Philip? They don't ever tell you, and everyone's been good to keep their hair and such. I wouldn't imagine that everything after episode 5, when they lose the Washington and whatever, is a reshoot, because that would be just shooting the new season. There wouldn't be a reshoot then. Do you know a reshooty? Do you know what's what?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm surprised they'd never said, when she said fail again, like, she's failed so many times, I'm wondering what that was in reference to. It doesn't come up again in the episode. So what is she referring to?
Yeah, Book asked her again. Screw you. Okay, well, thanks. I mean,
because the way she says it, it's a specific, like, I didn't save the galaxy once.
Well, she did bring up to Rainier a few episodes ago about her mutiny because of the Klingons.
But that's a long time ago, and
I know
we've already gone way past that as a story arc.
Yep.
I thought that was going to be an important, like, part of the psychobabble at the end, and it's entirely not. So I was kind of surprised that's obviously the setup. That's her breaking through. She's now saying what she's thinking about thinking. And it doesn't come back. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah. But now we get the Stamets and Adira's character buildings. Not really. They're doing the exact same thing they do every time. Yes. And Jet Reno's there, and she's like, she had a job as a subspace communications repair person. She worked for a cell phone company. And they figure out how the tunneling tech works.
Okay.
It's a good scene. I think seeing Jet again is awesome. I think she's great in the scene as well. But yeah, flames shooting out the back of the spore room
is embarrassing.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it's the cookie cutter of these characters. It adds nothing except for Reno. It's oddly vapid. But at least they're in it. And again, Reno is so slow in talking. My goodness. I talk about she has no sense of pace or of emergency. It's like, if I talk to you like this, Stuart, you're like, got 2 minutes till the world blows up. Yeah, but
it's like ending trying to end a live with you. It's like, move along.
Maybe I'll go slow today and talk about my.
Well, then I'll just go end stream. That's the 2-hour mark. Anyway, Um, she failed again with Booker. Yes. She didn't keep
that would have made sense had that actually been in the dialogue.
That's a good call out, Amber, yeah.
That would have been good if that was the thing. I have no idea. That's the thing, she fails so much, I have no idea what to think it means. But anyway, they can block the thing, and it's not that hard, and it's fine. Absolutely fine, no issue, really. Back to the museum.
Then we get the hunter, you're a hunter strategist.
Delete the scene, delete it. And why the hell is he rifling it? Like, these things become rifles. Make it a rifle if you want to be a rifle. You don't hold pistols like this. It's dumb. It's there because they want to give him another line, but it adds... Oh, delete the scene, guys. This is not worth anything, and it sets wrong expectations. Because I got excited for a phaser fight. Genuinely excited. Like, genuinely. I don't know why I was so excited. I was like, yeah, we're going to see a cool... Like, see how Rayner is aggressive towards Breen, and he has a strategy, and he does a thing, and maybe it's...
Because he fights like a Breen. That's what he's been told by another Primarch. Yeah.
Nope.
So, back on the Breen vessel, they're trying to stop our tunneling tech. Fix it. You have other problems, my friend. People are dying. And then we get...
they shouldn't be, because they should be on stun. Just saying.
I know. But then we get the Breen Elite Force game. First person.
It actually looks like bad CG as well. I can't imagine that was real. Because, like, the ceiling's red. Like the end of a set. I don't know. I think that'd be easier if it was just a... And why is the helmet being shown in the right-hand corner? Like, I bet that's CG. That doesn't look real.
It's the health bar. The green gets like this, and then it turns to red.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's dead.
But grabs their phaser rifle. It's like, you've got pockets of reality in your hands. You could have brought a rifle with you.
Yeah.
Because he's got one for sure. Rayner. Let's strap rifle. I have no idea what it can do versus the one I could bring with me at any time. Idiot.
And Maul's like, I've had experience fighting these guys. Send me down there. That way you don't have to lose any more troops. It's like, no. And he doesn't give a shit about Locke or any of you. You know that, right? Kind of building that resentment.
When has she fought anybody in one?
She says she has experience fighting them. She didn't say when.
I mean, you think the top Breen commanders would as well.
Not Starfleet specifically, though.
I mean, they're not warriors.
She says, I've had experience with Starfleet. Send me down there.
Yeah. Although only one Starfleet anyway. Oh, yeah. It's just odd. There's lots of odd things.
And then Bookshot, apparently.
Yep. It's really comedic. They run out. And then no one chases them, I guess?
Yeah. Oh, it's a maze.
Well, no, but it isn't, though.
I know it's not.
It's yeah. And also, weapons have a stun or a kill, and that's what they do. You don't tend to get blasted and it be a flesh wound.
You don't get projectile damage.
Yeah.
Which is, I got shot in the gut. Oh, I can't fix this here. I gotta go to the ship.
But were you stunned or killed? Because that's a direct hit. That's not... Because normally you get around with the by having a graze, and therefore the beam can't do it to you. Otherwise, they're getting hit by bolts of just energy, which I'm not saying stun.
There's heat, there's stun, there's get fucked, and then there's kill, and disintegrate. They're at the get fucked setting. Like, literally, like...
They just don't know how these weapons work. I'm not buying that Breen have... They just shoot bolts of lasers that have no setting. It's just energy. Like, that's been a tech we've had for all of the years of TOS. Sorry, NX we had that. We had stun and kill. But yeah, the pulse pistols didn't, I don't think. I think they just had, like, weapon juice, and that was, what, 950 years ago? Stupid. But it forced him out of the episode from this point onwards. He doesn't do anything to press the plot.
But this is where they're asking Rayner, what do we do? He's like, just 5 more minutes. It's like, if we don't get the clue, but what about the clue? We have to stay for the clue. If we don't have the clue, it doesn't matter if we're all dead. So, that's that scene. Yes. That's what happens.
Steven, she kicked out 3 security agents in the previous episode. She did. Yeah, that was dumb. Because they were crap.
Yep.
And also it was smoky, and I don't know. You're right, but that... Like, most people have weapons that are phasers. So, hand-to-hand combat, that's fine. Yeah.
But after storming off and saying, screw you, I'm going to do this by myself, she wanders back into a dark room, and they sit and talk.
Well, it's certainly implied there's nowhere left to hide, so this is her
She
last.
wouldn't be able to see anything. That's what made me laugh when it first happened. It's like it's pitch black in those corridors, probably, because they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, but she has 32nd century tricorder and enhancements, so she can see in the dark.
Ah.
Well, because she's got tricorder, so why wouldn't she have the... It's her brain, right?
But the whole, yeah, are you afraid of death? No. I'm surprised to hear that. You know, it's a whole conversation. She's afraid of failing. As a friend, as a partner, as a captain.
Hi, Phoebe.
It drives her, and she hates that. That's what she's afraid
Hi,
of.
Jeff.
Because books like I was surprised to hear the great Michael Burnham is afraid of anything. But that's her own
Savior of
mind
the
talking.
galaxy.
That's her own mind talking as well. So
Well, it's the program that can see her mind.
yes, and that's she thinks that she's, you know, everybody's harder on themselves than other people are on them generally. So
The problem with this scene is it's well acted, but I don't believe any of it. Like, given her previous seasons, given her previous actions and reactions, I just don't believe this is her personality or how she would portray this scene. It just feels insincere to this character, to me anyway, that if they'd set up a better character, I could believe it. But I just don't buy it,
yeah,
personally. So, yeah.
but then she's like, I shouldn't have pulled away from book. I should have made it work, and da 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 da. And it's like,
Yeah, why
you
did they?
passed.
Although, didn't she pull away because he betrayed the Federation, trying to
Yes.
isolatic bomb something? I don't
Yes.
think she pulled away. I think, and he got pissed and wanted to do his own thing because he betrayed. No, that's what I was putting on you, Burnham. I think you might be okay with just to give him some time. I think that's okay.
But that she didn't try afterwards, I think, is what the point is.
But he was kind of a war criminal, being punished by the Federation. Not sure what they could have really done for a bit. It's not quite as... Yeah.
Eric Martin, member for 18 months at the rank of captain. Have a cry, Michael. You will feel better.
No, guys, don't bitch about that. It makes sense. It's a tier.
It makes sense here.
It's
yes.
not, guys. It's not... Now, yes, of course, Janeway, Picard, Sisko, none of them would do that, but she's a broken person. That's the whole point of the episode as well, right? She's not a stable officer who should be in command of a starship most of the time. But she is, so she can cry. But it's fine. Not a problem. My only issue with this end scene is that it's so clearly the test that I think she should know it's the test, and therefore she should be playing him, because it... You know what I mean? Like, it's so obvious that when he says it's a test, she's like... But it's like, well, obviously, you know?
She was afraid of failing the test, though, and she's admitting that she's failed about a lot of things. So I don't know if she's necessarily thinking clearly about it being the test.
She isn't, but as the audience, it feels so blatant that I don't quite believe the
Yeah.
surprise. It's like, well, she's a smart gal. She would guess that it was...
But yeah, it's like, know yourself, be honest
sadness.
with yourself. Yeah, fear and guilt. You'll be vulnerable to these things, but, you know, it's fine. And anyway, there's a crystal in viewing room 7. When you wake up, go get it and break it open. The clue's inside.
And we gave explicit orders that this room can never be redecorated, ever. Because if that crystal goes into any other room, you're screwed. So there's a mandatorium on moving that crystal. Because museums redecorate a lot to make things more interesting for their guests and attendees. Things that move a lot. So for 600 years, that crystal had to stay on that damn plinth. Just saying, but if it can stay next to a rock, then it can stay on a crystal and a podium in the same room. It's just a bit funny, right? Ugh.
Hold up, I have technical issues.
Oh, yes. Ray, I've not watched a minute of... How have you missed all Discovery? It's been like 7 years. Ever. Can anyone here honestly suggest I watch any of the episodes of the entire series? If so, which episode? Yes, there's like 3 genuinely good episodes. There's probably 10 genuinely okay episodes, and there's a lot of other episodes.
Yeah. Am I back? Do I sound good?
Yeah, you sound great.
Good. Perfect. I need a new cable for my microphone, apparently.
Oh, yeah,
Anyway.
I had that a few years ago. Yeah. Ooh, Hypno. She would know it was a test if she's emotionally stunted and logic brain from being raised on Vulcan. Yeah, but she's lost that as a character trait 2.5 seasons ago.
Yeah.
So I can't even relate to that because there's nothing there anymore of that.
But before the scene ends, he says, there's one more thing you need to know first. about something inside your final destination.
Yes.
The way to get through it. That's like, oh. And then she wakes up.
Yes.
So she obviously got the information, and
yes, and that was pretty interesting in that I was kind of wondering if they were going to play it as she didn't hear it because she was forced out and therefore lost the information. That would have been super interesting.
no, I knew that didn't happen. You just yeah.
It could have been either way, right? And I was fine with the way it was played, but I was like, ooh, which way are they going to go with it? But it's for the audience versus yeah.
Anyway, she wakes up and says, "What's our status? We need to evacuate now. The Breen are here." It's like, "Oh, we gotta get the final clue first. Let's go!" And she runs and gets the really nice-looking crystal, which she smashes. Then the Breen show up, and the transporters work for a change, and they transport out.
Although, note, for whatever reason, they don't beam themselves. It would take the exact same amount of time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just noting that the two people who would do this automatically choose not to do it and wait until to be beamed and almost be shot. It's a small note, but when you set these precedents in the future...
Mm-hmm.
And yes, as you had said, poor books.
Yeah, the books get shot and burned. It's a shame.
It's like Quillick from Galaxy Quest. I'm shot. There's the important 10 pages of the books, you know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, it's the spines of the books, so the books are going to fall apart now. It's not.
Oh, they're spineless now. They won't hold up under scrutiny.
Anyway.
And then the episode starts.
Yeah.
This lasts like 5 minutes. Is a lot. I was kind of shocked they crammed so much in. Because there's quite a lot in this. I mean, not a lot, but like a lot of meaningful stuff, even if not a lot of actual beats happen. It's kind of surprising, actually.
So they get back and they want to draw the Breen away from the station. So let's fly, of course. And yeah, I don't know. The Breen ship just doesn't look that imposing now anymore. That's a small thing. It's fine. Anywho's. So the Breen are scanning Discovery, and they're like, you can leave the Discovery hails him and says, you can leave the archive alone now because we have the clue. And he's like, you have all the clues, the entire set of clues. And yes, so you can't destroy us because then you'll lose all that information. Haha. He's like, well, fine then. I'll just destroy the archive.
And this seems like that's their same only play from last week. We can't destroy Discovery, so we've got the clue. It's like there's no strategy here.
Yep.
And it's that classic, or I'll kill hostages. And yet one continuous blast, and in our first review I didn't remember if it actually got through the shields. No, it goes through. It fully destroys a giant chunk of the station. Like, considering this is like 1,000 decks, that's probably thousands of books have just got blown up. And they don't even mention that. Because also, not just that, explosion, the force decompression, there's going to be books flying out, like thousands of books, thousands of one-of-a-kinds got lost. And I really wish they made some...
Well, they hit the habitat ring. See, they hit the ring.
Oh.
The books are in the towers, maybe. So people are dying instead. That's fine. I'd rather people die than knowledge.
Good save. I'll take that. But it does kind of make a mockery of a little bit of the defenses of their great plan. They have all these centuries to work out a plan, one hit, and they have no weapons. And I would have loved if they'd said, if we'd cut back to, because remember the librarian lady's gone. The rest of the episode, she did no other part. As I said in the other review, I would have loved if she had been the one to come save the firefight, rocking up with a classic Calassian rifle or something, like just something from the archive. Like, I'm not just a pretty face, I'm not just an archivist. That would have been perfect. Perfect payoff. Or here, and given the LED room is all sets, why isn't she in the control room and says, okay, let's play your game, fire. And we just see like thousands of torpedoes fire. That would have been a great moment. But it turns out the Dreadnought's too powerful, or something. Nope. None of the good moments, just these things.
And it's like, well, I'll hand over the clues, but I need your assurance that the archive and everyone on it won't be harmed any further.
Yes, and you can trust
A Turgoon. Swear a Turgoon. Give me a pinky promise. That's what it is. Uh,
Pretty
Sacred
ingenious. I think that's actually rather smart of her. And I did see the end coming. It's pretty blatant, but I like the shortcut to show the guy has no honor. Really good idea, actually. She doesn't know that's how it's going to play, but I thought it was actually
Did you like the Tilly? Go give me the puzzle pieces on it. Boom, out. She didn't walk out. She beamed out, which is great.
And even though all she has to do is beam into a room, grab it, and beam back out,
it takes a long time.
Takes a long time. Or they could just beam.
They locked it up now. They realized not to leave it on the table in the briefing room anymore.
Or why can't they just beam it? They know where it is. Again, it's played for jokes. It's just played for jokes.
Yeah.
It's not serious, right? Yeah.
So he agrees to the Targoon. Everything will be safe. Just hand over the information. They put the puzzle piece in.
Well, they give him 5 minutes to decide, which lets them do the thing that gets the information. Yeah. And it's quite cool. I like the power up. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
No problem. But I was left thinking this moment, holy effing shit. This thing has been amazingly well protected for centuries, and you, Michael Burnham, have destroyed the universe by giving it to the Breen in 1 second. Like, that shows that's all of the problems of why this shouldn't have been found, you've just done.
Yep. 100%.
Because all the Breen do is just follow you. This makes the entire season redundant. You just let Discovery do the thing, get it at the end by threatening somebody. Because they could have done the same thing. They could have gone to Earth, said, give us the thing or we'll bomb Earth. Sorry, here it is. Like, it feels like such a... Well, we need the Breen to be there at the end. We have no smart way of doing it, so we'll just do that in the last minute.
Yeah, and I knew that was going to happen. I called that from the beginning.
Yeah, but it's so lazy. And I don't even know why she doesn't, like... I thought she was going to, like, jumble the information or something, or do something smart. I know she has a minute, but, like... Or shoot it, or anything. They don't know what it is, right? They've never seen it together. But,
send them the programmable version of it.
Yeah,
programmable matter version of it.
Yeah,
because I love when it beams aboard the Breen ship. He's like, is this genuine? Maul from across the room. Yep, that's good. Really? How can you tell that?
You have zero knowledge of it. You have no idea that's true.
You know what it looks like. And yes, it looks like the thing. But
no, you know what 2 pieces look like.
Yeah.
Don't even know they'd fit together. You have no idea. So it's a stupid scene. I just mean you feel like we've wasted the season to get to this moment to give them the tech to be there. Wasted this. It's just that's not how you do that and feel satisfying. Because honestly, like at a certain point, you say let them die. Like in a sad way. Like the knowledge is what I care about more from the archive. That is absolutely priceless and irreplaceable. But she's just given them without any subterfuge the location, the thing that was hidden against for all time, that he had to pass all his tests. And there's no semblance of, like, okay, here. It's just played very strange, and I think lets the season down.
Yeah. Well, they get the coordinates. They tell Stamets to be prepared to jump, and then they beam it over. Maul confirms.
Oh, I get no, that's true, but still.
What's true?
Remember he told her the one thing to get the tech, so they need to know. So there is a secret piece to the puzzle.
Yes, there is.
But it's still.
But that's even mentioned in a second, because Raynor's like, she tells Raynor that I've got information that Ruin won't be able to figure out. But will Maul? Yeah, maybe. The look on her face when she says that's pretty funny.
You don't even know who she is. There's no data on her. You have no idea her skill set.
Yep. But still, the look on the face was funny when it's like, what about Maul? It's like, oh yeah, I should think about that.
And I love how they make a star map, but the Progena's tech is like 6 hours away at warp from the Badlands, so it's deep in Federation space.
Yes, I know.
It's like a couple of hours away. What the hell are the chances in that? It's just said that's close.
Yeah.
Which is a whole different thing. But anyway, he says, F it, blow them up.
Yeah, and he's like, well, you have factions turn against you. You can't break a Targoon.
Yeah, I can.
So you're a Breen now? Yeah.
I did like that, though. I thought it was well played, but it's all, again, telegraphed. There's a semblance of course, but yeah, yeah. Screw it.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're going to vent plasma
Sideshows are really... Should have turned it into a replicable matter bag full of time bugs.
You gotta buy a time bug, and they don't have any, so...
But imagine if they'd not killed it in the episode, deactivated it, and this had been the twist. It was in it the whole time.
That'd be cool.
That would have been a payoff.
Yeah.
But then you'd have said, "Oh, the ship's too big. It's only going to jump them for say a day or two, or like a week." That would have been an amazing 7 payoff. Properly done. Wow.
Yeah.
Bastards. That's good writing.
So anyway, they're going to vent plasma, eject everything from the shuttle bay, and jump simultaneously.
Yes.
Which is a pretty cool visual, honestly. But, as I said, they scan for debris. Like, there's debris. Well, other shows, it's like there's not enough for a ship, though. Obviously. And also, the Breen can track your jump signatures. You've already said so.
Yep.
So wouldn't they detect that there was a mycelial jump as well?
Yes. Yes, they would.
So stupid.
Yes, they would. I mean, there's no get around that. They have no idea how they're tracking them, and they'd be an automated system, wouldn't it? Beep. It went on. Plus, yeah, like matter doesn't like. You would be able to math the amount of debris this would do, or the amount of spores in the air, or the amount of human. Because there's 0 human matter, you detect some level of human matter. You detect computer core bits. Like, I don't think they would believe that was destroyed enough. They could work out instantly if it was good enough.
Yep.
But it's a cool visual, at least, the multiple beams. And hey, not pulses, they're beams. Hey.
And I do love when it jumps and then comes out and it's just smoking and... Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. The explosion of the ship is so small and pathetic. Like, it's a really small explosion. Like, this is a... But yeah, when it comes out, it's fun. But also, the shields are, like... How is it damaged? Because, like, the beams are hitting the shields.
From all the explosions inside during when they were in the Badlands.
But the shields were up the whole time. There shouldn't be hull fires. Because you need the shields up to spore jump, surely, because you're going through a time anomaly network thing. Because if the beams hit you even for a split second, the thing caused massive damage, it would blow through the ship. The ship can't take that. I don't know how... I get the nacelles, because that's them venting plasma. But I don't understand what's damaged. How is it damaged?
Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Mull's Breen handler is Locke from the past.
That's a bold assertion. Okay, maybe.
Well, I have a feeling that Mull is in fact pregnant with Locke's kid, and he's going to be the real successor to the throne because Locke's not returning. I don't think he's going to come out from the dead. So she's going to end up being the Breen leader, essentially, the true successor, and she's going to sympathize with Discovery because something's going to happen in the next 2 episodes where she's like, these Breen are complete assholes, and now that I can't get Locke back, I'm going to help those guys. That's what's going to happen. And then there's going to be peace between the Breen and Discovery. That's how it's going to end. With, yay, everything's fine now. Calling it, she's pregnant.
I mean, yeah.
Anyway, so they jump.
Canon.
That's my theory. And they're 22 light years off target because the spore drive got damaged.
Which I loved for those 12 seconds it was damaged and out of the equation. I thought, great, we're nullifying the ship's special ability at the last minute. That would allow for such drama. But they say they can fix it in the time. Well, they heavily imply they can. But 22 light years, Stuart, is not far.
No.
And they say 6 hours.
But their warp drive's down too, so they need to fix it. So they get 5 hours for repair, and then 1 hour...
Wait, what?
It's going to take the Breen 6 hours to get there.
Yeah, so it's 6 hours at warp, which is absolutely nowhere. That's like several light years.
Yeah, it's not
so
far.
if they're 20 light years, so they're further away than the Breen are, which means they jumped. So
they jumped.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. They're 22 light years away from it. It'll take the Breen 6 hours to get to the destination. It'll take them. Well, an hour. That's why she wants 5 hours for repairs, 1 hour to get there. So they're going to arrive at the same time.
Because 6 hours at their warp is not going to be more than Like that. So yeah, they're 30 light years away, and they jump 20 light years in the wrong direction. Idiot.
Lemon Wolf, or maybe take a shuttle. Yeah, take. Well, they actually, to be fair, they just ejected the entire shuttle base.
See, I was about to jump that in. Yeah.
But there could be some in storage underneath, so you could actually maybe take.
Yeah,
a
you
shuttle.
couldn't jet someone's in the secondary bay because you've got like 40 seconds. Now, of course, you could just make a new shuttle. They built the Red Angel suit, which is far more advanced, in an hour or two, and that's way more advanced. You could build a shuttle, but that I had thought in our review, they could build a fleet of shuttles they could warp out. But yeah, you could absolutely build a warp-capable quick shuttle. I mean, they built it in Prodigy. Not very long. They could absolutely build a shuttle.
Anyway, yeah.
But I'm kind of shocked with 6 hours. But at least it means that it gives us a real reason why none of the Earth fleet can get there in time, even though we're deep in Federation space, because they are. They're right, or I guess in Cardassian space, but it's irrelevant at this point. It's just deep in someone's space that we can get to very, very quickly.
Yeah, and this is where she tells Raynor, I learned something in the mind space that we'll need to get there. But I can't imagine Rune figuring it out. What about Maul? Yeah.
I hope that's not disappointing. The twist on that. I hope it's a satisfying thing. But guys, 46 votes in the poll. I had some decent super chats. Your thoughts and comments were like a few more. What you guys think as we're starting to get near the end. We asked, do you think Season 4 is still the best season or will be the best after the last two? 57% say no. And 43% say yes, which is still pretty high, I think. Let us know.
So anyway, the Breen say, well, screw it. We're going to fire on the archive. And it's like...
What?
Don't make this worse for your crew, because... But my question is, how would any of the other Breen factions know that he made a Turgoon and broke it?
Well, the security cameras.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the holo recording.
Beam to all other enemy faction Breen. All right.
We can't just delete it, but, you know.
Anyway, yeah, so... She gets his gun, his rifle, essentially, and fires it without hitting the trigger, which is interesting, by the way.
Well, yeah, it's a bit more complicated though, because because first of all, some guy says no, and then the matriarch guy shoots him point blank. But because they're all looking the same, I thought, why is he shooting him? Okay, anyway, he murders one of his crew in cold blood, and then his second in command, which I guess second in command, says no, hold on, which is ballsy of him considering. And then she does the thing and then shoots him. No stun setting, I guess. Again, everything's on kill. Or, why is everything on kill? Yeah, why wasn't that the thing that shot Book? Take these things, they're far more effective. It would have killed Book in one shot.
Yeah, but you see what I mean? She's holding it. It's like a musket. It's like the Mandalorian's long rifle. Mm-hmm. She's holding it nowhere near the trigger. You can actually see the trigger.
Oh, there is a trigger.
Yeah, it's a gun.
Oh, I did not. Oh, I thought it was a staff.
Well, I thought so too until this scene. You can see it's clearly a gun. They all are. All of them. All the guards have them. That's what they're banging on the ground, is the butt of the gun. She doesn't even go near the trigger, and it fires twice. Anyway, it's not a big deal. It's an advanced weapon. It has controls elsewhere as well. It's fine.
That's really funny. And also, the way the guy dies feels just not good. Like, off to the side, black robe, onto the black screen, move on. It's very underwhelming, I guess. And all Breen don't shoot her on spot. Don't know why they don't, but...
Oh, also notice his body changes position. It's on its back, right? And then she's in the rifle lock, and then he's kind of rolled over.
He's perfectly up.
He was trying to crawl away because he wasn't dead.
So shoots him 5 more times. Yeah.
But then he's on his back again.
Oh, they didn't even get that right. Yeah, God.
Book.
That's so funny.
Anyway.
And they are holding them from the gun point. Yeah, they're all holding them from the gun. Perfect. Yeah. Oh, God.
But long will he reign, the Scion. I am in charge now. Yes, you are, lady.
Despite my one claim throne being killed, I will now rule you all. But I commend them for the fact that the suits have enough personality for a look to still be like, oh, I get what he's feeling.
Yeah.
But it does feel like she just cooed the Breen. I don't believe this would work. I think the Breen are smarter than this. Because again, if we knew if we knew Locks had like a special relationship with everybody, they had a connection, but they all choose a dead guy with only one lady's, a random human's acknowledgement that this tech exists, with no proof. They allow the killing of their leader and a rightful ruler of the Empire. I don't believe it. Again, the way they framed this, it's cool, but it's not believable in the way it's framed. Now, if the second in command had said, "I side with her, will follow me," and then it's a teamwork, fine. But it's not. She's clearly now in charge, and she'll be the one in the chair, like.
Well, he's the one that approved it because he walked up and like was staring her down, and she was staring him down for a second. Then she kind of hesitated and looked down, and that's where he put his hand up and said, "Long will he reign." So he's kind of supporting her claim at that point.
But her claim.
Yes,
not a joint claim. I know what you mean. Absolutely, they need that moment.
But that's why people are thinking that this might be somebody undercover. This might be Kovic wearing a Breen costume, or Non,
or Vance.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Oh, sure. It could be a Washington.
Yes, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Or Grey from.
Oh God. It's actually Spock. He went to the future now.
Spock, voiced by the guy from Resolute for that game. I'm back to help you, Jim. I'm not Jim at Mole. Who's that? Gosh.
Anywho, that's how that ends.
It's not a bad 4 minutes. I wish it was in other things. Yeah.
I wish it was more of the episode. Yeah.
Gosh, if half the episode had been this pace, my God, it would have been kick-ass. Maybe not good, but kick-ass. There is a distinction. So what do people have to do now, Stuart?
Well, now you guys got to super chat in with your scores out of 10. We want to hear your scores out of 10. We're going to give our final thoughts on the episode, if our opinions have changed at all, and also our scores out of 10 for the season and for Discovery as a whole. But we want to hear from you guys. So super chat in your scores out of 10.
I really want to know you guys' thoughts in super chats. Even just $1, like put in some, because we've discussed it for a long time. How are people feeling? Like, how do you feel after this conversation, Stuart? Because we did our other review. This feels like a very different conversation to that review. This felt just different. How do you feel?
Tired. This is a weird episode to review, and yeah. I don't know. I don't know if my mind's changed at all. It's just I've watched it 3 times now, and it's just not exciting. There are large chunks of this that just drag on, and my God, I don't know.
And just like last week, if you had summarized this in a blurb, it would sounded great. And yet.
Yeah, exactly. No, well, I appreciate the discussion about it. It's definitely. I got a lot of theories. I'm telling you, my mind works on theories.
Yes.
So, I just hope that it keeps this pace up going in the next episode, because
I mean the last 3 minutes of pace.
Yeah, it's leading up to something good. But I have a feeling a week from today we're going to be here saying, "Well, that was a letdown."
I'm so of that opinion.
Although next episode is directed by Jonathan Frakes, so there's hope.
Oh, the last one did was very plain though.
Yeah,
it was fine, but it was plain. But that's true. He can do action if he directed the space stuff. Like he can do that stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of well-written scenes in this.
Well, let me ask the question. So Stuart, what do you think of this episode?
You already asked it. Kind of.
Well, I'll say in a different way. What do you think of this episode, Stuart? And what would you give out of 10? Do you like it more or less having our review? And what do you think?
I like it more or less. That's the answer. I like it more or less. It's all right. I don't know if I like it more. Like I've already answered the question though, so you're asking me again. The standouts for me in this one are Book and Burnham. Some of the scenes are really, really good and really well acted. Everyone else is just a side character. Even Rainier doesn't have a standout thing in this one. He seems, when he's getting asked for advice as to what to do from Reese on the ship, he hesitates. It's Rayner's not a standout, unfortunately, in this episode. Nobody is except for Book. When he got the world route and also as the program, I think he did a fantastic job with that. The Maul stuff is interesting. I can see kind of where it's going, but the other guy that was kind of giving her like a, I kind of agree with you, the Scion, that kind of cheering her on, came out of nowhere, and I wish it was, as we said earlier, I wish it was kind of telegraphed earlier in the season that the uncle was punishing him by putting him down in the hangar bay, which we kind of got that sense, but we didn't get the sense that any of the Breen gave a shit. If they were all like, "Hey, buddy, it's all right, man,"
I believe in your cause.
Yeah,
I think you should be king one day.
I don't want to be king. Yeah,
yeah. He was clearly a nobody that no one had anything to do with, right? And the fact he get away with a liaison with a lady that isn't human, isn't Breen, showed that no one paid attention to him, right? Mm-hmm. Guys, super chat your scores. I really want to have a few more 1s, 2s, 3s, whatever. Just put in your scores. I would like to know.
People are pointing out that the next episode is called Lagrange Point, which is a point that uses gravity to change orbital paths. So that's the secret that Michael Burnham got told in the end. But anyway, it's fine.
It's going to be a disappointment. Probably. And I have low expectations.
So no, there was things about this I liked. I definitely liked the Archivist. I thought she was a fantastic actress and a really great character. Wish we're never going to see her again, but that's okay. The library was pretty impressive, although and yet not at the same time. So it's a weird episode. It's a weird episode, especially for being episode 8 of 10.
Well, it's an episode that could have been 50 times better. Yep. They settled on 50 times okay. Yep. They settled versus make it awesome.
So score-wise, for this season...
Well, can I pause you for a second? This season has averaged down significantly. So keep that in mind. This season is not where we thought it was going to be. So, just saying.
It's always tough doing this.
The rescore is going to be brutal.
I know.
Brutal.
For this episode, I'll give it a 6.9.
You are a consistent boy. I'll give you that.
For all of Discovery, 7.3.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, I'm going to ask you the question.
Yes, hello.
So, does our conversation help you out at all? Do you have any different thoughts about the episode? Is it do you feel differently about it now that we've talked about it for 2 hours?
Some. Okay. All right. So, what do you guys think? Let us know. No. Yeah. Like it's not that it's good or bad. It's that it could have been amazing. All these opportunities to have cool stuff, it didn't do. All the stuff that slowed down the pace was either unnecessary or should have been done earlier. The characters, the actors are doing their best, but in an uninspired set with no interesting references or logic or continuation. They've got an LED wall. They could have had a mind palace, have her go to Kronos, and Andorra. Like they could have done things with that idea of a mind palace. You could have done so many amazing things visually and do all of them on the LED wall. Look at Stranger Worlds, what they achieve. You could have done so much, but it's a bottle episode. It really is. Weirdly, it really is. Or it could have been your excuse to give the side crew something amazing to do. Have only Book and Burnham beam down, keep Rayner on the ship, and because of only 2 people at any given time, make that a rule, and have the Guardians of the building protect them. You could have done that. Have the bridge. So it's just her doing the subplot, and Rayner, everyone in the crew do cool things. That would have been the other half. Would have been great.
I would have loved to have Rayner facing off against Rune ship to ship.
Yeah.
Because he hates the Breen.
Yeah.
Right.
And we said he's never once taken command of the ship properly. We said he'd go against our orders. Hasn't happened yet. The thing we said, that's played no part, and I don't think it will in the last 2. They might throw a little bone to that, but he's a yes man now. It's fine. But yeah, it's thoroughly okay. It has good ideas mediocrely executed, feels cheap. Burnham is fine, book is fine overall. And it's very easy. If you summarized it, it'd be very quick to summarize because it packs 25 minutes worth of episode into 57. As I said previously, makes Prodigy, that crammed twice as much story in under half as much time, look like a bloody godsend. They have more character development, more story, more twists, more cool visuals in under half the time, and probably under a tenth the budget per episode. It's amazing how much money they're using to do so little. It's not bad, but... oh, goodness. But it's not bad. And it's not boring, it's just dull. There is a difference. I fell asleep second watch slightly for last week. What happened last week? I've already forgotten. Because I remember the plant, the one on the suicide place, that I fell sleepy, but I didn't quite fall asleep, but I almost did. The last one I actually almost fell asleep during. I was tired, but it didn't keep me.
It was Eriga.
Oh, the negotiations, I guess. The bottle show with the fight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, where the Breen Dreadnought was introduced.
Yes, the last two were very boring, shockingly so. This wasn't, but it was dull. So it's better than those two, I think, in that regard. But last week had some better visuals. I don't freaking know. It's also average, right? The bar is so medium, but it does feel better for the season, which is weird. God damn. I'm in the 6. It's higher than the previous ones, which is sad. This season. I'm just going to gut here. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just going to say 6.3 gut reaction for this season. Because this season should have been better. But all Discovery, yeah, 7. I mean, it's just so mediocre, right? But it still beats all other stuff. God. Oh, so... God damn it. My brain doesn't even want to connect with the scores. It's like it's just so...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the season rescores would be so phenomenal because the average is so much lower. Like, I've got 2 9s here and a lot of lower scores. God, what do you guys think?
Well, let's read some of your super chat scores.
Goodness.
Ray Ricks, £2, 5 out of 10.
Okay.
Things in this just felt lazy. T. Louise Allen, $2, 7.5. Really liked Hyrel. Maul's takeover, meh. Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Mike and Book, acting scenes, the best part. Yes, 6 out of 10 for the season, 7 out of 10 for the series. For Discovery. And Ray Ricks, £5. Just thought of a good idea. Bring James Frain back as Sarek in her mind program. He has to be cheap. Yes, having him or Spock be the guide in the mind thing would have been actually kind of cool. And she could address the Vulcan things that haven't really been, that were just kind of forgotten about. That'd be interesting. Yeah. That being said, Book did a fantastic job with that. So.
Well, the actor did.
That's what I mean.
But there is.
I don't know his name, so.
David.
Sure, Dave. He did a great job.
Yeah.
That Dave guy.
Which is funny.
Dave's not here, man.
It's funny because having him not be Book and Colbert not be Colbert, they gave almost better performances.
Yeah. Anyway,
any final super chats would be great. We'd love another 3, let's say. But let's see what other people have said in the non-super chat, and we'll then finish the poll. So last chance, throw a vote in the poll. I would love to know the final result. Okay, so non-super chat scores. We have Feed Me 7 / 6.5. Stanley's 6 to 7 again. Hypnamber 7. Joseph 7. Aussie 8.9 for him. 9. Mum was at 9 out of 10. So some of the best of Star Trek. Okay. Can you say why you thought some of the best of Star Trek? Or is just like most Star Trek are 9? You know what I mean? Like that's like some of the best of Star Trek. That's top 10%. If you have 800 episodes, it's one of the best 80 episodes. And if you've got 8 shows, it's 10 each, roughly. Let's say so. Yeah. Dark Lord 6. Hand Picture 6. Feed Me says the reach. I don't believe they've reshot the ending they added to the ending. I've pretty well in interviews they said they didn't reshoot. They just filmed more because the ending was fine by itself. They just added an epilogue.
20 minutes ish.
Yeah, 16, 17. Yeah, it's basically an extra few scenes. So I don't. Maybe these were reshot, but the end was not reshot from what I've yeah.
Yeah.
Donnie gives it a 9. Says Ozzy, which of course isn't Donnie, but Donnie does give it a 9 again. Top tier. That's one of the best of Star Trek. Donnie. Yeah.
Let's end the poll as well. 57 votes.
Yeah.
It's still Will season 4 be the best? Nope. Another season with 53%, and yes, 47%. So it's very close. But
season 3, man. I just think it's so much better.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it for this time.
Indeed.
Join us tomorrow for a video. As you guys know, we have.
I was worried there for a second. I'm like, I'm not doing something tomorrow.
No, it's an edited video. We've already done that.
I got so worried for a second. What do we book?
And we will, of course, see you next week for a few lives, and also then next Friday for the next breakdown for the next episode. So,
which we hope is going to be amazing.
Lagrange Point with Jonathan Frakes directing should be fantastic.
I hope is going to be amazing. And wish us luck, guys, because I am filming some test bits for a new show for us on Tuesday. Yes. So that could be interesting, and a piece of costume arrived today. So, yay! So wish us luck, guys, because that should be fun.
So until next time.
Yes.
He's Commander Cock.
He's kind of Foley.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.